For the first time in 6 years, the Houston Rockets will see postseason basketball in front of a packed crowd here at the Toyota Center in downtown Houston. They'll be facing off against a familiar foe, the Golden State Warriors, the very team that has been their boogeyman during the James Harden era, where they lost to 4 times in 5 years. The closest they've been to an NBA final was in a Game 7 in 2018. Without Chris Paul, the Rockets would go on to lose their final 2 games, including Game 7, where they missed 27 consecutive three-pointers. But with that on the rearview mirror, it's a new era in Houston and a successful retool for Golden State. And even without Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, and all the notable players of years past for Golden State, some of the key faces are still there, including Steph Curry, Steve Kerr, and Draymond Green. 3 of the last 5 key faces out the championship windows. And you include Klay Thompson and arguably Harrison Barnes or Andrew Wiggins. Wiggins being traded for Jimmy Butler. As the Warriors tried to maximize the last of this current window, the Rockets tried to make the statement that this young team can catch up to the rest of the NBA. Hello everyone, I am Alec Nava. Welcome to Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. It's the first time since 2019 in which they played a whole playoff game at this arena, and in which it was the closing years of their previous era, which had James Harden as the focal centerpiece. Now it's a by-committee approach that was led by their 2 young stars, Alperen Sengun and Jalen Green. And as we go to our starting 5s, beginning with the visiting Golden State Warriors, their rotation looks like this: Steph Curry, Brandon Podziemski, Moses Moody, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green, the starting 5. Off the bench, Gary Payton II, Buddy Hield, Jonathan Kuminga, Kevon Looney, Quinton Post. Coming off the bench, for the Rockets, they'll be trusting Red VanVleet, Jalen Green, Amen Thompson, Dylan Brooks, and Alperen Sengun on the starting 5. Off the bench are Aaron Holiday, Reed Shepherd, Tyree Eason, Jabari Smith Jr., and Steven Adams. They're coming off the bench. And Jimmy Butler has made a massive impact on this Warriors team ever since he landed. And an old rivalry gets reborn here with brand new faces all around. During the Double B period, day before Jimmy Butler's Warriors debut against the Chicago Bulls, was mediocre. After a 12-3 pump fake to start the season, the Warriors, they fell off with an injury to key offseason addition DeAnthony Melton, which did not help matters. They had fallen a game below 500 with the only aspect of play keeping them afloat being their 9th-ranked defense. But the offense was a toothless bite, easily stifled by opponents focusing all their attention towards the Warriors' sole source of consistency, Curry. That problem was even more pronounced when Curry sat on the bench for a rest or was sidelined. And amid renewed calls for the Warriors to make a move at the trade deadline, it was looking like they were headed towards another wasted season with their franchise player, the undisputed best Warrior of all time, arguably the best point guard of all time, and at the very least a top 10 player of all time. But a midseason trade for Dennis Schroeder only managed a whimper. He wasn't a perfect fit. It was a pick and roll guard who was required for a team with a widespread reputation of infrequent usage of the pick and roll, nor one that the personnel to run a spread pick and roll heavy offense that would have allowed him to thrive. He wasn't able to fulfill the role of the much touted secondary option on the point guard spot that Curry needed in order for his burden to be relieved. Then came the trade for Jimmy Butler, shipping Schroeder and a 2031 second round pick to the Pistons, and Andrew Wiggins, Kyle Anderson, and a 2025 first round pick to the Miami Heat. The Warriors ended their regular season on a 61-win pace, a 23-8 record, and managed to climb as high as 5th in the West, all the way from as low as 12th, before settling for 7th. A victorious play-in victory over the Memphis Grizzlies got them a spot back in the playoffs and a date with an old rival. They faced each other 5 times in the regular season, an unusual number of matchups made possible by the NBA Cup. The Warriors were denied a trip to Las Vegas. It happened to be a historic one for the Rockets, who previously lost to the Warriors 15 consecutive times dating back to February 20th, 2020. They got the monkey off their backs, and while the Warriors were able to get their lick back in the February 13th matchup, the recent April 6th matchup was perhaps a daunting preview of the kind of the trouble that the Rockets could present to the Warriors, in the form of Curry being limited to 3 points on 1 of 10 shooting, all while being defended by a revolving door of wings and Amen Thompson and Dylan Brooks and a physical guard in Fred VanVleet, who was an old NBA Finals foe of Curry's back when VanVleet was a six-man on the Toronto Raptors and not a starter. Ime Udoka, another former Finals foe, has his young players playing in a brand of defense that's unforgiving. Making use of physicality and length, the Rockets finished the season as the fourth best defense in the NBA with garbage time eliminated, while equally being stingy in the half court. 110.8 points allowed per 1 possessions in the NBA, 94.9 points per allowed per 1 half court possessions. The key stat with the Rockets has been their offensive rebounding. They've rebounded 35.3% of their missed shots, which has helped them a ton. Their 18.1 second chance points per game is a full 1.5 points better than second place, happening to be the same difference between second and eighth in the list. The 27.2 putback points per 100 missed field goals and free throws also overwhelmingly tops the league in the association. What they lack in offensive creativity, imagination, and shot making, they make up for winning possession battles and giving themselves lots of chances to score in single possession. So James Capers, Ben Taylor, and Hediminas Petritis are referees for tonight's game to get our starting fives on for the floor. A rematch of the NBA Cup game in which the Rockets snapped their 15-game losing streak against the Warriors, dating back to February 20th, 2020. But these two teams are much different from years past in previous battles, and the opening tip-off, we are underway here from H-Town in the Space City. Now gone with the red court, we now have a normal hardwood as Sengun will set up for Brooks as they all slice around, rotating places. Green, he'll set up Sengun up top. Here's Thompson, rejected. And there's the putback, but the whistle was before Sengun put back the ball. Game 1 of the Western Conference Quarterfinals in this best-of-7 series, and perhaps the most, in the spiciest best-of-7 series as Owen, he was jostled out by Draymond Green. Did not get into foul trouble as Owen's going to go to the line, shooting two immediately. His first shot rattled out. And among that cast of second-year players, Owen Thompson, that is, he's been improving and could be in line to get a Defensive Player of the Year nomination as he missed both and Draymond shanked the inbound as he was chasing after the ball. Thompson improved his points per game rate up to 14.1%, tied for third on the team with Fred VanVleet. Inbound onto the left corner for VanVleet, who's wearing the number 5, wore number 23 with Toronto. That number's been retired by the Rockets. Sengun doesn't fire the free, he steps inside, goes into it, and runs right into Draymond. And that's going to be a charge, and the Warriors will head back with this. Sengun shaking his head, but you cannot use your forearm when driving to the inside. That's going to be the first offensive foul of this game. Setting up at the point and then dropping back for Butler was Moody. And now he's Curry, fires the free. Too far. The Rockets are used to that, knowing what Curry has done in the past to them in the playoffs. VanVleet. Fred VanVleet to Owen Thompson. Thompson from mid-range. He sinks it. Makes up for the missed free throws with that. Quickly up to Moody. Moses Moody gets the screen, now to switch. Forced out by Sengun, and now it's Podziemski. Brandon Podziemski, he'll look towards Jimmy. What will playoff Jimmy do? Looks at the mid-range, and it kicks out for Moody. Moody boxed out. Runs right into Owen Thompson, and is kicked out all the way. The free, bounced up, and is grabbed down by Green. Excellent hustle. Sengun and Jalen Green set up. And now it's at the left wing. Fed over to Sengun! A posterizer on Draymond. Alperen Sengun. Curry to Podziemski. And you want to think that they'll be answering back here with something. Can't hit a free now. But how about that posterizer from Sengun? VanVleet's free. Oh, wow. A triple goes for Freddie. The Rockets cleared for liftoff. In the opening 2 minutes, they scored the first 7 points. On the right wing, Podziemski, he'll look back over to Jimmy. Jimmy Butler. Brooks stays with him. And backs up. Jimmy buckets. He'll survey and back with Podziemski. Deep heave. He connects. Brandon Podziemski. How about that long-range heave? On the left side is Brooks. Dylan Brooks going one-on-one with Curry. He'll defer it over to Sengun. Here's Van Vliet. He'll try again. That went off the window, and grabbing in front of it is Draymond. Podziemski. Curry. Butler. Up at the goal mouth. He rattled that one in. Right on Van Vliet's face. The Warriors, after allowing the first 7, they score 5 unanswered. Fred VanVleet. That's a setup from Brooks to Sengun. Sengun. And now Brooks. Short. And Podziemski. You would think that you would want to slow down the 3-point shot making because those are close heaves here. Podziemski kicks out for a wide open Draymond. His 3-pointer. Off the window. Didn't make that one through. Here's Jalen Green. Going back up with this. Taking a one-on-one matchup with Moody. A shake and bake. Green drives onto it. Rejected, but Sengun grabs the rebound. Here's the putback, and he sinks it through. Top-ranked team in offensive rebounds. The type of team that, despite what they're lacking in offensive creativity, they have in terms of rebounding and doing the nitty-gritty. Butler fakes the free, drives up on Brooks. Puts one up, that rattled out, and here's Sengun. He'll drive it the other way. Fred VanVleet moving up on Moody. He'll kick it out to Sengun. Has a wide open free. Rattled out. Draymond grabs the rebound. Nearly 4 minutes into this game. In this first quarter, Rockets leading 9-5. Pick and roll here for Podziemski. Trying to heave one through. Sengun tipped it to himself on the rebound. Off the left side, it is Freddie. VanVleet sets up Sengun. Sengun. That was actually Brooks who set up for Sengun. VanVleet hands off for Green. A lot of time without a whistle here. No substitutions of late as Green. He'll shake around Curry. Green fakes and delivers one. It's too far. Thompson tried to save it, but it's grabbed by the Warriors. Steph Curry. He'll set up the left corner for Jimmy Butler. It's kicked back out for Draymond Green. Steph Curry on the way. He got bumped, but the rebound's grabbed by Green. The 3-pointer was too far. Warriors are 2 of 9 shooting. Rockets 4 of 9. Sengun for the free throw line. Got it. 11-5 Houston here. Nearly 5 minutes into this first quarter. This Houston team, young and hungry, wanting to prove that they're on a mission. Moody, 5 minutes deep. Draymond. Curry trying to get open. He gets it. Left wing side. Missed it. Everything is not falling here for the Warriors from free. Amon Thompson the other way. Picks up Moody on him. Thompson's the flush. Delivers to Sengun. Tight shot. He takes it. The Rockets on a heater. They're up by 8. 13-5. Nice passing here for Amon Thompson's Moody. Who set Podziemski. And now here's Moody. And that was poked by Sengun. He's trying to allege that the Warriors last touched it. 6:30 to go. And now with this, the Warriors will use their first timeout. It's 13-5 Rockets with 6:30 to go in the first quarter. On a roll. We'll be right back. Rockets jumped out to a 13-5 lead here in Houston. And when the last time these two teams faced, think back to 2019. All 6 games of that series, in which it was won by the Warriors, were decided by at most 6 points. 13-5, the lead here for the Rockets heading back into this. Fred VanVleet, one of the many members of the Toronto Raptors team that won the NBA championship, leading this Rockets team that's the 5th youngest in the 2025 playoffs. Average age is 26 years, 171 days. Jalen Green, unfazed by the moment as Moses Moody inbounds it. It is the Rockets taking a timeout, not the Warriors. And towards the inside, this is taken up. And this one bounced out. And the rebound ends up inside here for the Rockets as they're moving back up with this. Houston tried to take control here up throughout. VanVleet. The Sengun. Sengun drives it up on Curry and kicked out for Brooks. Sengun. Sengun twists and turns. That went off the backboard. Curry grabs it. Warriors trailing by 8. They want it to not go down by a huge hole. Curry will set up for Gary Payton II, and here's the layup. That is Jimmy Butler who got that one inside. A crafty feed, a crafty passing sequence. Houston going back here with Green. VanVleet wants the setup. And Jalen is fouled. 5:39 to go here in this first quarter. The Rockets trying to overcome their playoff demons. They overcome their regular season demons when beating the Warriors in the in-season tournament. And then again, forcing Steph Curry to making just 3 points. Tari Eason from deep. Off the side of the backboard. Or actually off the side of the rim. Curry up for Payton. GP2 finds Draymond. Defensive Player of the Year final is GP2 from deep. Yes, sir! GP2, the mitten, getting onto the board. Just the second free that the Warriors have made here. It is early in this game, and there's a lot of game left to be played. Shake and bake here for Jalen Green. Curry staying with him. Kicked out for VanVleet. Almost mishandled that one. The mittens closing in on him is Steven Adams. He's doubled. Adams goes inside. This bounces up, and it's out. And the Warriors try to get it. Cannot. Shot clock is reset. Easton left it for VanVleet. He moves up, posts up from mid-range, and hits it. Hard-working sequence for Houston. To get back up by 5. VanVleet steals it. It bounces up. He has it covered. GP2 and VanVleet are fighting for it. It's going to be a jump ball. That's why championship experience matters if you're Fred VanVleet. The pressure, the poise, the pursuit, to head for the ball and deflect this one up. And grabbing this one to get into a wrestling match between him and GP2. Ime Udoka, another coach that has championship experience, making it to the finals with the 2022 Boston Celtics. Taking that experience with the Houston Rockets and it's translating into success. VanVleet and Payton to settle this jump ball. It's tipped up, and the Warriors will grab it. Pat Spencer checks in. Draymond Green is here. On the right wing as it's moved over to that right corner. Setting up around in front. That's actually Quinton Post. Curry on the layup. Bounced in. Smooth and silky with it. It is a 3-point game as there was a whistle afterwards. And Steven Adams having some wars with Udoka to get back underway here. It's moved up here for VanVleet. Delivered around. VanVleet with Jalen Green. Green looks on GP2. One of the best perimeter defenders in the league. Green moves inside. Cuts. Bounces in. And the Rockets retake their 5-point lead. And moving up at the left wing is Draymond. Moved out onto the right wing for Post, who heaves one deep. Way too far. And is scooped up by the Rockets as they try to push the pace quickly. VanVleet posts up. Bounced up and out. Payton had trouble with it, but he saved it just inside for Moody. Moses Moody slows up. And on the right wing, he'll look to center it up. Curry with VanVleet tangling him. Curry is tied up. Moody backs up. with 7. Delivers on for Draymond, and it's knocked away. Tari Eason down Main Street. What do you think of the Bari and Tari show in H-Town? Tari is playing a huge role in that. One of the best defensive players on H-Town, and he made the most of that in picking apart Draymond Green. Timeout, Steve Kerr. We'll be right back in a moment. The last 4 times these two teams met in the playoffs, the Warriors won every time. The first 2 in a 5-game series. The 2018 one in a 7-game series. The 2019 one is a 6-game series. That series, every game was decided by at most 6 points. Steph Curry, one of the last remaining Warriors from any one of those Warriors teams to still be on this squad. Draymond Green, Steve Kerr still here. In between these two, lots of playoff experience. But these are brand new teams as Curry flushes it out to the right side from the right hash, delivered it in. Jimmy buckets. 3 minutes to go here. The Rockets making 50% of their shots. Warriors 38% of their shots. Owen almost was intercepted as he gets it right back with Steven Adams. Kicked out right corner. Tari Eason bounced off the rim. Rebound up for grabs. And it will bounce out. No, it's saved inside. And the Rockets will keep it for the left wing as Sengun. Watched by Jimmy. Sengun delivers it back over to Eason. Shake and bake on the left side. Tari Eason tries to spin it. Has to get one off. Bounced up. Still up for grabs. Another offensive rebound. Steven Adams is in trouble. Adams. He'll look for the free throw line. Delivered back over to Thompson. Thompson Thompson shakes, moves up, pulls up. Adams, bad pass, and Tari did not get a shot off. He did not get a shot off on time, and all that work at the offensive glass for what? You have to be concerned about the lineups with Sengun and Adams. That's the two guys that you're going up against to get offensive rebounds if you're the Warriors. Number 7 rate defense for the Warriors. This is the left wing side for Buddy Hield. Missed that one. He was wide open at that spot. The Rockets moving back quickly. Amen Thompson to the paint. Puts one out and stayed out. Quinton posts a rebound and Curry looks to answer back with the pace. Curry. A fake by Post as he moves inside. Post rejected at the rim. And the Rockets will take it back. Sengun will start up and take it across. Sengun. He'll wait. From the free throw lines, he pulls up. Lost the ball. And the Warriors will move it back. Curry got ran into by Owen. And it's moved up to Butler. Curry gets it back. Splits the two defenders. And flushes his one off the window. Makes it a 3-point game here. The Rockets have still led for most of this first quarter. Amen Thompson. He'll look over to Sengun. Fakes it. And finds Jabari Smith. Smith fadeaway shot. Jabari Smith Jr. right off the bench after he started the year as a starter. He's comfortable with it. Curry. He'll pull up. Reverse layup. Bounces in. That is nasty. The penetration and the advantage for Steph Curry as he claws right into the Rocket lead. It's 21-18. They have a timeout here on the court with 1:05 to go in the opening quarter. That 2019 series was the first time in NBA history in which a 6-game... The 2019's Western Conference Semifinal Series was the first time in NBA history in which a series had every one of those 6 games be decided by at most 6 points. Final minute of the first quarter, Rockets lead at 21-18. Thompson delivers one off to Adams. Adams wants to dish it back. Easton, Thompson. Thompson gets the switch, and he'll look with 48. Now to Sengun. Sengun, wide open option at the left wing. He'll decide to go on one leg. Can't hit it. And Podziemski gets the rebound. Brandon Podziemski. Kevon Looney on the court for the first time. Podziemski delivers it over to the right side. Jimmy Butler. Curry is resting. Post. Gets the switch up. Post dishes it back over to Jimmy. And Butler. Here's a whistle. 27.7 to go as Sengun is called for a second. Leading scorer for the... Second leading scorer for the Rockets as he tried to check up Jimmy. He was falling back. And a foul to give. But that didn't look like much. First time All-Star as he sits down. 8 points, 2 fouls. Inbound inside his post. It's moved over to the right wing and it's set up over the right side. Kevon Looney decides not to fire it, and Looney will get it. Looney with free. Looney goes up. Looney has to put one up. He's watched by Adamson tight. Tari Easton the rebound. Shot clock turned off. Rockets have all day to fire it. 7-6. Fred VanVleet tightly in check by Podziemski. Whistle blows with 4.5. one of the many questions that Houston is faced with, if they're going to have enough shooting to counter the Warriors' 3-point rate. And 4.5 minutes to go. One of those shooters you think would be Fred VanVleet, but so far that's not been the case in this season. Below average shooter, and statistically this is worst season of his career. 4.5 minutes to go in this first quarter. This is going to be inbounded by VanVleet onto Sengun. Sengun moves up, lays this one up, couldn't get it. Payton the rebound, that'll end the first quarter. So far, it's been the defenses doing the work. If these two teams, they match up nicely with one another. Houston leads 21-18 after 12 minutes of action. The second quarter will be next here in Houston. Alperen Sengun of a highlight reel poster. And Steph Curry doing his usual magic tricks here on the team that he has faced up so much in the postseason. Second quarter is next. Alperen Sengun leading the way for the Rockets as he leads the team in rebounds. One can make the assumption that he could be a younger version of Nikola Jokic. He's been looking at that trajectory here. As the second quarter is about to start, we say hello to Owen Parkin Redbox. How you doing?
Pretty awesome after that win, I must say.
Well, that was a beatdown between the Leafs and Senators. A 6-2 victory by the Toronto Maple Leafs, by the way. Well, that was a thriller there for the Leafs.
That's what a hell of a win. There was some big fights at the end, too. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, yeah, I did. Bobby McMahon, especially. Oh, Podziemski misses a deep free. But that late fight at the end between Toronto and Ottawa may be a sign that this is not the last of it just yet. This is going to get uglier down through the finish line. But boy, was Bobby McMahon ever hounded as Sengun knocks down the floater with one hand.
And Domi.
Yeah, Max Domi too. The Punisher, or the Agitator as one would say. Draymond Green counters. Makes it a 3-point game again. In the opening minute of the second quarter, as Fred VanVleet slows down on the pace. Sengun has 2 fouls already. He's one of the leading scorers here on Houston any given night. VanVleet to Adams and then Sengun. Looks to Amen Thompson at the right corner. Thompson posts up from the FanDuel logo. Bounced up and grabbed by Buddy Hield. It was short. And then moving up to the far side, slowing it down, is Jimmy Butler. Butler will look and move it back to Hield. Quickly to Podziemski. 3-pointer on the heave. Bounced up and out. Adams to rebound. Former member of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Thompson quickly. And now at the left wing side, VanVleet. Too fast on that one. That might have been bounced off of Draymond. Yes, it has. So stay with Houston. 3-point shooting has not been either team's bread and butter so far in this game. Golden State is 2 of 12. And it looks like they're going to take a further look at this one to see who it was last touched by. Would it be Sengun or Draymond Green? So Steve Kerr's going to challenge it. And I think he may have a reason to do so as we come right back onto this one in just a moment. And so far, the playoffs have been exciting. That Battle of Ontario, and even though the final score might not show it, that's going to be a thriller down the line. Can't wait for Game 2 on Tuesday.
Yeah, and tomorrow night we got Game 2 of the Jets and Blues. That's going to be a thriller.
Oh yeah, after what happened in Game 1 when Kyle Connor with that slick snipe at the top at the right circle. That's his bread and butter for where he fires at. The same exact play that the Jets ran at the beginning of the third period went on a power play, except this time around, it worked to perfection, and finally, Connor solves Jordan Binnington. But how about Mark Scheifele? Take a bow.
Yeah.
Yep. I gotta say that even for Ottawa giving Toronto some tests, the Leafs always had a counter each and every time to what the Sens brought. In the last 4 playoff series, the Leafs won each and every time.
On that first period, they made it look like it was going to be an exciting game, and then Toronto opened up in the second.
Yep. Yeah, Oliver Ekman-Larsson with that opening goal. He's been excellent ever since his lone year in Florida under Paul Maurice, and carried that over to Craig Berube's system. But Austin Matthews with the seeing eye pass to find Mitch Marner on a breakaway. You know how playoffs are when rush chances are going to be few and far between, and you don't see those often. But this is one of those rare chances where you see a breakaway in the playoffs.
Yep.
That power play, though, that's got to be a work of art for the Leafs. 3 power play goals. Between Tavares, Nylander, and Nyes for those power play markers. And that's 6-2 series opening victory for Toronto. Frankly enough, it's just the third time in which the Leafs have a series opening victory in a playoff series in the Matthews era, outside 2019 and 2022. Yeah, very crazy to think about that. Though this could be another one of those years when you believe that this could be the year that the Leafs could make a deep run, and with the coaching change, that could work a lot of wonders.
I hope so. I hope this is the year. We got to make it at least past the second round.
You know, conference finals, I may anticipate that for whoever comes out there is a general consensus inside my own mind that whoever comes out of the Atlantic Division would represent the East in the Stanley Cup Final, unless if Ottawa comes out the Atlantic, because in my opinion, because if Ottawa goes to the conference finals, I think there will be Washington's conference to take.
We got to be coming back here soon.
Yeah, so it's the Rockets and the Warriors. It turns out my screen is stuck. I'm going to refresh it, but we should be back here as I am getting the feed all reset. And yes, it is a last touch by Sengun. And so Draymond Green will go back on the offensive end. So here we are with the Warriors getting the ball. A successful challenge by Steve Kerr. And across the half-court line is Jimmy Butler. Butler will go back to Podziemski. Podziemski will look from the point. Watson tight by Van Vliet. Hield. On the switch, here is Jimmy. Jimmy Butler kicks it out left corner for Draymond. Couldn't tie the game up. Just 3 pointers in this game. 2 by the Warriors and 1 by the Rockets. It's been the inside battle that's been the most of it. Thompson just saves it, but he gives it away to Jimmy. Had the right idea, but bad execution. Right corner, Podziemski for the tie. Got it. Leveled up at 23 early in the second quarter. 5 turnovers against Houston so far. And across the half-court line comes Van Vliet, or rather Dylan Brooks. Sengun watched by Podziemski. Faster. As Van Vliet finds Thompson, who's doubled up. Right corner is Van Vliet. Bounced up and out. And this rebound goes to the Warriors. And here's a fast break. Quinton post with Van Vliet catching back. Pass back for Jimmy. Oh, he was smacked down by Owen. And Jimmy Butler going to shoot his first free throws of this game. Hey, Ryan, how are you doing?
Doing well. Good. That's good that you're doing the NBA.
Huh. This is the game that I want to. Yeah, this is the game I want to cover, not just because of the playoff, because of spicy playoff implications. This is the most intriguing first round matchup.
I would say so. Yeah, I would say so. That's most the competitive series probably.
Yeah,
well, you being a Rockets fan also helps.
Yeah, first playoff action for Houston since 2020, but the first time in a sold-out crowd in 6 years.
All right, let's go Houston then.
Hey, and while Jimmy Butler has taken the lead here for the Warriors, there's a lot of fight left in these two squads. We know what these two are capable of, as Steph Curry is sitting on the bench. Quinton Post will check out as Guy Santos enters the game for the first time. 15 in the royal blue. Crowd loud here, as opposed to when the Rockets have the ball and Butler is 2 of 2. The early tone here with Sengun with a playoff poster on Draymond Green, was the finalist for Defensive Player of the Year. Going to be in a tight run with Evan Mobley. The Warriors have scored the last 7 points in the last 2 minutes. Van Vliet is closed up, delivers over to Tari Eason. Van Vliet up front. Smith will back up. Smith falls down. Podziemski takes it away. Podziemski moves it up. Will deliver it on the right wing. Extra passes knocked away. And the Rockets go back with Smith. Jabari Smith will look as he backpedals and pivots. Smith across the corner for Van Vliet. Washington tied by Podziemski as he escapes it. Van Vliet tries to go around. Dylan Brooks from deep. Yes, sir! Dill Pickle from deep.
What is Jalen Green? He's not playing?
Steph Curry's on the bench waiting for his turn to head into the game. He says, as to Steve Kerr, I got next. As Butler, he'll kick it out to Santos, left corner free. Of course. The extra pass helped from Jimmy. That playmaking does help carry on from his Miami days. 3 of 6 are the Warriors in this quarter. Rockets are 2 of 5. And for the left side, Van Vliet kept it on for the misstep. Brooks will try again. Couldn't knock it down again. And this is tipped up and will be sent up for Hield. Buddy Hield, the former Sacramento King. He'll look to Butler. Jimmy Butler watched 1-on-1 by Fred Van Vliet. Butler. No switch here is Hield. With Smith staying on him. Hield. Extra move. The free on the way. Swish. Buddy Hield. Knocks it down from Palo Alto.
I see what you're taking after with that. I like it.
Sharpshooter.
Butler takes it away off the loose ball. As the Rockets try to get something up offensively, Podziemski wanted to try one, but he is quickly closed off by Van Vliet. He defers it over to the right wing. Where standing there is Jimmy. Extra move, moves to the paint. Butler posts up, rolls it in. Jimmy Butler. Playoff Jimmy has arrived.
Oh, yeah.
That's 9 points off turnovers for Golden State so far in this game, as opposed to Houston's 5. As Van Vliet gets a shake and bake and switch on Hield. Van Vliet almost misstepped. And now here's Amen Thompson as he pulls up, trying to lay one up. He is fouled on the entry by Podziemski, and he'll head to the line.
Kind of a bad start for Houston in the second quarter.
Yeah, that timeout by Steve Kerr may have worked. Well, the intermission may have worked for Steve Kerr as he wants to ride the hot hand. That is Butler, who is known to turn it on come playoff time, as the first free throw is rolled out by Amen as it took a curious roll inside.
Oh my goodness.
But watch for Jimmy Butler. This is the guy that you want to see and watch if you're Golden State. He is known to step his game up in the playoffs. He is just 2 years removed from dropping 56 on the Milwaukee Bucks in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Quarterfinal, as Thompson checked the second one, saves his own rebound, but again gives it away to Curry. Steph Curry sets up for Santos. Santos is fouled on the entry, and he has a chance to tell Amen Thompson, let me show you how it's done. Santos, a native of Brazil, was previously a two-way affiliate on this Warriors team. Is now a regular on this lineup. 22 years old.
Oh, Santos, Brazilian. Oh.
Yep. Residing in Brasilia. First shot is good. And a nice opportunity for Santos to get minutes here in the NBA.
Yeah, Brazil, I remember they have quite a few players in the NBA back in like 10 years ago or 7.
Yeah, South America, Latin America has no players as Santos makes the second one. They have some players that have emerged into everyday NBA regulars. For example, Manu Ginobili.
Oh, yeah, that's the best example, 100%.
No,
Thiago Splitter. Yeah.
Another loose ball. The Warriors pick it up. He'll try to get open at the left corner. He is quickly closed out by Green. Jimmy has it at the left wing. Watched by Brooks. No switch here as Brooks is trying to switch it away. On the right corner. Pass inside. Curry cuts and lays it. As he was crashing inside. And Ime Udoka uses his third timeout. What a feed to find the chef who was cooking in the lab.
What's the lead, like 7?
This is a 10-point lead with the Warriors leading 36-26.
Wow. Well, Rockets has scored just 2 points, I think, in the third quarter. 3.
So far, Jimmy Butler is 10. Draymond Green is 2. But watch for Steph Curry. He quietly has 8 points so far, and he's emerging. Sengun with 10 points. People need to look for what could happen with Jalen Green. He has just 2 points, 9 minutes of usage here in this game.
Yeah, he have to step up.
Yeah, for one of the leading scorers on Houston.
So far.
Yeah, a good young career. And there's a reason why he got the extension to Houston, because the Rockets are confident in his abilities.
Yeah.
Well, there have been some tight games. So far, the first few games of today's slate on both postseasons have been lopsided. And that includes
definitely.
Yeah, that includes the Thunder blowout victory over the Grizzlies.
51 points.
What was it? The 5th most lopsided game in NBA playoff history or something?
And not only that, but to rub more salt into the wound, a playoff poster by Jalen Williams. Yeah, and it was the 5th most lopsided victory. Official margin of victory is 51 points, with the Thunder winning 131-80. And people...
Can you believe it? The team like a Memphis Grizzlies scoring 80 points a game? Just unbelievable.
And for a team that's not too far removed from being a second seed in back-to-back years in the playoffs.
Nah. I think Memphis has coaching problems. They can find them a good coach. They can probably do a lot better than people think, because they have good players.
Yeah, they have good players with John Morant. The problem is that while they are good, they're not good enough to beat some of the best teams. They in fact, had a losing record against the top teams in the Western Conference.
That's fair, but part of the problem is that the way that they play as a team, that's why I'm saying it's a coaching problem. And so it's not just players, but you have to have a team that knows how to move the basketball and all that stuff,
Yeah, and Memphis is a team that is relying way too much on their young players too. You want to have a veteran presence on that team. And even though Marcus Smart has been struggling in Memphis, why would you trade him away if he brings veteran leadership and championship experience to a young team?
You know what? I agree with that. I don't think so. Marcus Smart, he's just not as good offensively, but he's leader. He's a leader. And he's a very good defender, so you can use him. Like I don't know why you trade him.
Yeah, that's the point. Not to mention that you move away from Steven Adams, and even though you get Zach Edey, a veteran leader like Adams would still make sense.
Right. Yeah. But Marcus Smart, when he was at Boston, players like Tatum and Brown, they're the superstars, and they would go to him at key moment. And he was a leader in that team. And then the Boston Celtics. So that's different level. So I mean that would have been beneficial for them to keep Smart, honestly. But yeah, you're absolutely right about that.
In come the Rockets as they want to break this dry spell. Van Vliet trying to put on some moves on Santos. He'll drop it for Sengun. Sengun back for Van Vliet, free to shoot as he pulls up. Van Vliet, close up, moves for Sengun, got it up on time, and puts it as the shot clock expires.
All right.
So that timeout by Ime Udoka immediately paying dividends for Alperen Sengun as he used the post-up game. The Warriors are 2 of 11, but they have made 12 of their next 19. Curry finds Santos inside, kicked out right corner. Sengun immediately rushes up for Jimmy. Jimmy Butler on the deep mid-range shot, bounced up, and it's snagged by Bari. Bari as in Jabari Smith Jr. Here's Jalen Green. The fans want to see more of him. He only has 2 points, but he could use a scoring touch now. Curry's watching him, 1-on-1. Green from way deep. That bounced up in the air, and it's grabbed by Santos. He'll immediately hand it out for Hield. We're in the final 5 of this first half. On the right wing is lofted up. Here's Butler. Watch 1-on-1 by Freddie. Jimmy, who has the advantage here? Jimmy doesn't, and it's grabbed by Sengun on the strip. Through the far side, moving up. It is Santos with the 1-on-1 matchup on Sengun. Sengun, that may be a reach-in foul. Guy Santos, who checked into this game. This Warriors rotation is one that they can go a rotation which they can rely on 7 players off the bench, which is a rarity in the association. Not many teams would utilize 12 players on a roster, but this Warriors team does. Here is Sengun as he watches. Looks to drop back over to Van Vliet. The switch back for Sengun, the hook. Wide and sinker. It's a 6-point game. Oh, this was thrown away. The Warriors tried to get this inside as Draymond Green wanted to find Steph Curry, but guess who was there with the Rockets braids? None other than Dylan Brooks.
Brooks.
Of course.
Brooks is a good defender, but he loses his cool often.
That's the grit and tenacity that Brooks provides to a Rockets team that emphasizes grit and tenacity. Van Vliet for Sengun. Sengun looks from just behind the free throw line as he is positioned at the arc. Fades one away, bounced up and out. Jalen Green saves it in. Jabari falls down, gets back up. Green. Gary Payton the second, closing in on him. Switch for Sengun. Sengun moves around. He is boxed out. Van Vliet has to put one up. Moving. And this one bounced up. Draymond tries to take it away. Here's Brooks on the putback. Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Dylan Brooks switches this one from mid-range. And Steve Kerr uses a TO.
My God. It's a tough game.
Yes, it is. And back and forth. This is not an easy contest for either team. It's going to take every man every unit to deliver what I anticipate this to be a tight and grueling series.
100%.
And if you want to know where Dillon Brooks is from, the same place where John Tavares is from, Mississauga.
Yep. I was going to say Toronto, but then, Mississauga. Close enough.
Well, it's not too far from Toronto.
They're basically attached at this point.
Yes. Of course, yep.
Been through Mississauga many times.
Yep. It's just looking around, and people are wondering what's going to happen if fans chant, "We want Boston." Well, this is the end result. Boston will give you Boston. The Celtics win 103-86 over the Magic in Game 1, with Derek White leading the way with 30 points.
Oh my God, Derek White, unbelievable! Oh my goodness, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, the former San Antonio Spur thriving in Boston, and that outdo a 36-point effort from Paulo Banchero.
Wow. But yeah, the Magic, they don't have offense. That's the issue. And they're struggling. They're good defensively, but they don't have offense. They were firing like too much on Banchero.
How did Curry float that one inside? It was closed up from every angle. That's a shot that should not have been possible. My goodness. And here, back the other way, Sengun spins around Podziemski. Sengun closing to the inside, floats one, bounced in. Tough bucket.
He's playing his game, Sengun, right there. He's doing everything.
Yes, he is. Up to 16 points and 7 rebounds on an efficient 8 of 13. And while most of that comes to the inside, you would expect that most of that comes to the inside, doing the paint work. Podziemski gave it away to Jalen Green. Here's Green moving through, gets the contact. He's going to shoot 2.
Nice. Oh my God, I'm starting to trust Sengun, bro. He's doing everything. Look at that. He's rebounding, defending, setting up plays, going inside. What else do you want to do, bro?
The do-it-all workhorse from Turkey.
A basketball country, for sure.
They're gonna rule this as an offensive charge, not as a defensive foul, as the Warriors gave it away again. Here is Dillon Brooks, the Mississauga native. Can't close that one off. No whistle. Play continues here. And for the far side, the Warriors want to return the favor. The Rockets have been all over them defensively. The Warriors have made 2 unforced errors in back-to-back offensive possessions. Jimmy Butler will defer to Podziemski from mid-range. Brooks was right in his face. Jabari with the rebound. Here's Van Vliet with 2:23 left in the half. Sengun looks to pull up, spins, and will kick it out. Van Vliet. Fred Van Vliet with the screen from Sengun. Van Vliet from mid-range. Too far on that one. Van Vliet's not having himself a good shooting season. He's shooting under 40% from the field. It's Curry. Oh my goodness. That's just not fair.
Punish.
Less than 2 minutes to go, and the Warriors are showcasing their three-point shooting all over the place. Jalen Green to the paint. Rejected as he was met by Draymond Green. Green on green violence as Curry. Ryan the hot hand delivers over to Moody. Moody with Brooks on him. Finds Looney. Looney to Butler with Sengun on him. Jimmy Butler wanting the mismatch as he pulls up and kicks out left corner for Moody. Extra pass back to him. Butler, he'll look deep 2. Yes, sir. Jimmy buckets.
Damn.
1:13 to go as Butler, he'll look. 12 points for him so far through this first half. Approaching the final minute of the opening half of this 7-game series as Sengun slows up. Free. He is doubled. He has to kick it out. Tipped up. And there was absolutely nothing here for the Rockets. And this bounced up. Heavy car crash near the free throw line as Curry was in a mix of a tangle up. And he's exhausted. Relentless motor, relentless passion. Steph Curry, who a decade ago was the first-time NBA champion at 27 years old, but he ran right into, I believe that was Fred VanVleet, one of the members of the Raptors team that won the 2019 championship. Dylan Brooks, the other one with playoff experience, back with the Memphis Grizzlies. His first playoff appearance in 3 years. Oh my goodness! How did that? He threw for Steph Curry. He's just not human.
No way.
He just does that, and he does things in which you say, no way. For Curry, it's just Sunday. Easter Sunday, that is. 30 seconds ago, and there is a 12-second difference between shot clock and the game clock. Jimmy Butler, he'll move it up. On the left side, it is Looney. Gets it back, and Butler, he got tangled up by Jabari Smith. So that is going to be a foul here. But that's just not fair for Steph. Deep heave from the Toyota Center logo. How in the world does he find that? And what the only logical explanation is, because he's Steph Curry. Now here's the first shot. That is too far for Jimmy. And Draymond's going to check back in. 21.1 on the clock. The Sengun stays here. Jimmy has 12 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. But here's the key stat. 3 steals. For as excellent as he is offensively, don't count him out defensively. Sunk the second one. And I thought that almost was a lane violation. But it wasn't. Shot clock turned off now. The Warriors have scored the last 10 points in the last 145 and counting. VanVleet. Rockets have the last shot. VanVleet. Whistle blows with 10. And it's believed to be Moses Moody got a hand on him. We're also going to keep a close eye on some of the other games, both NBA and NHL, as the Stanley Cup playoffs are also underway. Jabari Smith checking back in. Moved up for Sengun. Alperen Sengun will drop it back around for Jalen Green. Green has Payton on him. Green lobs one from deep. And it's in and out! Oh my goodness, that was that close to a buzzer beater. And after 24, the Warriors lead 47-34. How in the world did Jalen Green see that three-pointer go in and out? That is just terrible luck at the end.
Yeah. But the Rockets are struggling offensively. I mean, 34 points, that's too little. Despite some errors from the Warriors at some point in the second quarter, they didn't seize the opportunity. And they're struggling offensively. Because I think that some players are not shooting when they have to. They're not confident enough, especially VanVleet.
Yeah, VanVleet is definitely not having a confident season. When you look at his per-game averages, this is his worst as a full-time starter. 14.1 points per game. And even though he's one of the better distributors on the team, he is not having himself a good season.
Nope. And that's, yeah. I mean, of course, it's a first game. You need to give time for Jalen Green to kind of like, let's see what kind of response is going to be in the second half. But it's a first game. It's first. I mean, if you lose this, even if you lose this game, doesn't mean like that the series is over by any means. But like, it's just some of these players having playoff for the first time, they need to get there quickly, rather than like saying, "Oh, that was it this season, and we're gonna go back next season." You know, it's very important series for the experience and for some people to actually step up and in big moment. Sengun seems to be the one that is just trying on his own, but you know, it's hard.
It's hard to do everything on your own, especially when you're the only one with double digits in scoring. 16 for Sengun, 7 rebounds. And despite all of that, no other Rocket has more than 5 points. That's the key thing. VanVleet, 5 points, 2 of 8. Dylan Brooks, 5 points, 2 of 5. Jalen Green, 2 points. And this needs to be circled between Van Vliet and Jalen Green shooting stat.
Yeah.
Green is 1 of 7.
That's a lot. That's a lot of shots. 16 of 34, that's, yeah, you can say that's 50%, you know, of the points, team's points.
Mm-hmm. And Sengun, 8 of 13, is basically the only one doing all the work on Houston. And meanwhile, for Golden State, you got the Curry and Jimmy show, as per usual.
Yeah, but, you know, with some good defense and some ways to create, they need to create some fast break opportunities off of these turnovers that the Warriors commit sometimes. So, yeah, there is what you can do, but it's hard. It's not easy to do, you know. But I believe in the Rockets. I mean, they were in the second place for a reason. So they're good defensively. They just probably the game is so big for some players, the Rockets rosters, that they don't have experience.
They can rely on some of the trusty vets in doing so, like Dylan Brooks, Steven Adams, Van Vliet. Those are 3 of those with a lot of playoff experience. Adams with those years with Oklahoma City when he was with Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook.
Right. Yes. But I don't know. He's the same place in Sengun, so I don't know how much. I mean, in playing, I'm not sure, but leading and like doing like some talking maybe during the half or timeouts, maybe that will help.
That could. In the meantime, as we go over through the other games, it's really today hasn't really been a competitive day in terms of playoff basketball or playoff hockey. In terms, the Cavaliers, they blew the Heat out of the water, and despite the 121-100 scoreline, to this day, I'm still shocked that we have never gotten a LeBron versus Wade playoff series ever.
I want to say something here. The Cleveland team. So last year I thought they were going to be good, and they had a lot of injuries. Now at the start of this year, this team is dangerous. This team is really dangerous. They have Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, and they have 2 good like center / power, like the power forward of Mobley and Allen, and they have some 3-point shooting, and they're really dangerous. I think if they get with the Celtics in the final, that's going to be a really big one.
And 3 players on the Cavaliers have at least 27 points. Forget 20, at least 27. Not just Donovan Mitchell or Darius Garland, who have 30 and 27 respectively. You look to one of their bench players. Ty Jerome went off for 28 points, one of Kenny Atkinson's most trusted guys off the bench.
Wow. Yeah. They have Strus, who was a good shooter as well, defender. Yeah, but good depth on that lineup for sure.
Yeah, lots of depth. DeAndre Hunter, Isaac Okoro, Sam Merrill, Dean Wade.
I forgot about Hunter for a second.
Yeah, Hunter.
They acquired him in the trade, yeah.
And despite trading away Karis LeVert and Georges Niang, they want to get a boost among the two-way side.
I would say Hunter is far better than Niang. They're both shooter, but Hunter a defender, and he's this season he's doing really good this season. Hunter, his average is up for sure.
And what's crazy is that he was coming off the bench in Atlanta because of the Rookie of the Year campaign for Zachary Reese-Shea.
Zachary Reese. Yeah.
You got Bam Adebayo with 24 for Miami despite the losing effort, 9 rebounds. Tyler Hero with 21 and Davion Mitchell with 18. It might be confusing to see.
Oh, wow.
That guy was with the Kings, I think, and he's a good shooter, but he's stepping up. I was watching the end of the Heat Hawks game, and in overtime, Mitchell stepped up big time in that game.
Yeah, What and a good defender. That was dating back to his days at Baylor.
Yeah.
Right. So far, and I know this is Owen. This is your stronger suit in terms of the hockey standpoint. Leafs won 6-2. Canes won 4-1. So it's been a good day for the both of us.
Yeah, I watched the first period of that Canes game, and it was so clear right from the get-go that they were running away with it. I mean, half of the Devils team is now out with injuries, so.
I swear, the Devils just can't catch a break. You already lose Jack Hughes out for the year. Jonas Siegenthaler is already listed as doubtful for the series, but in this same game, not only did Brendan Dillon go down to injury, but later, and with the same shift, well, not in the same shift as Dillon went down, but later in the same game, during the same shift at the third period, both Luke Hughes and Cody Glass get hurt, and Glass was slashed by Jacob Markstrom.
I don't know anything about hockey, but the names that you mentioned, I know a few of them. So I'm like, that's half of the team for sure. Yes. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Might have just become the easiest series in the first round, if it wasn't already.
Yeah, when John and I made our predictions for our Stanley Cup playoff first round series, 6 of the 8 ones we believe could go either way. The only ones that we believe are true locks are the Hurricane series and the Golden Knights series.
Who are the Hurricane players?
The Carolina Hurricanes.
They're playing New Jersey.
They play the New Jersey Devils.
Oh, yeah, that's the Hurricane. Yeah, the Hurricanes are a strong offensive team, I think.
Well, even stronger defensive team. Most of the offense for the Canes comes at 5-on-5. And something that is of note for Carolina, their power play needed a serious jolt of momentum. But in this game, they got a power play goal. Logan Stankoven with 2 goals. His second one on the man advantage, and that was badly needed. And the ping that was heard around through the arena is so loud, you could just feel that ring right through everyone's ears. Wow.
Wow.
Well, you should have heard the Scotiabank Arena when the Leafs won, and they showed a Maple Leaf Square just packed.
Like they do every playoff night.
Yep.
The tailgates there are insane. And I would love to be a fan in either one of Maple Leaf Square, or I don't know where the district's called where the Winnipeg Jets have their watch parties, but there was packed as well.
The whiteout parties, yep.
The whiteout, one of the most intimidating crowds in all of hockey. And even for Nico Hischier's only goal for New Jersey, that was the only thing the Devils had because the Canes gave them absolutely nothing. They were buried at 5-on-5, and all that Sheldon Keefe could really do, if he were to keep his head over his water, was to continue rolling out the Hischier line to avoid getting buried at 5-on-5. Outside that, there's nothing that he could do because the Devils are between a rock and a hard place with all these injuries.
Yep, and I mean, I don't know what you do if you're coaching the Devils now. Like, all your lines are broken up, so.
It's a bad dilemma.
For sure.
And that's not to mention about the struggles of Andre Palat or Dawson Mercer. They have not been having themselves good seasons. Palat himself has struggled ever since he arrived in New Jersey. This is year 3 of his current 5-year deal, and Palat has not matched his Tampa totals.
Oh, what a
Are you going to do every game of the Rockets Warriors?
I wish, but Tuesday I'll be covering Game 2 of the Maple Leafs and Senators.
Uh-huh.
And Thursday I'll be looking at the Knicks and Pistons Game 3.
Oh, all right. I mean, we stumble in that fourth quarter big time, bro. We screwed this up. We were leading 8 points, 98-90, and then we stopped at 98 for like 6 minutes. That was crazy.
Yeah, we've got yet another Pistons fan here, because as if we need more, eh, Alec?
Yeah.
But you know what? I seen the Pistons do a lot better than they did in that game one and like that kind of moment. So I expect them to bounce back. I mean, we still alive.
Yeah.
I mean, still alive. I mean, we were leading in the fourth quarter, so we can do it again. And then the Knicks have like players that are not consistent, like Towns, and unfortunately got Brunson back. But without Brunson, I mean, we would have had like higher chance than them. Actually, I would say.
There's a lot of series left, and this series could mean upset potential for if the Pistons were to beat the Knicks, and it's certainly likely.
We'll see what happened in game 2, and then we can have a good idea about it. We'll see if the Pistons can keep up a close game like they did for the most part in the game 1. And if they do, they may steal one. And even if they don't, they can probably go home and win at least game 3, and then we can see what's going to happen.
Now, do remember, Detroit has not won a playoff game since 2008. It is 15 straight losses in between playoff game wins, and they have not won a series since 2008. And now we have a tie game at the Sin City. Tomas Hertl scored to begin the scoring for the Golden Knights. Alex Pietrangelo and Brandon Saad assist. Matt Boldy has evened it up. 2 minutes and 20 seconds later, Kirill Kaprizov and Ryan Hartman provide the apples. It is 1-1 with Aiden Hill and Philip Gustafson in net.
Are you doing any games tomorrow night, or are you taking a night off?
I'm taking a night off.
Yeah.
Just remember, rest is important.
Definitely.
But if it comes to Game 6, Game 7, because John's going to return early May. Yesterday between the Stars and Avalanche, that was the last game he did before he had to go for house sitting for his family so that they can vacation to Japan. So no playoff previews, but I'll be doing playoff recaps of each day of the Stanley Cup Final. That'll be uploaded every day to my YouTube channel. And I will create a link tree for exactly that.
Do you broadcast across platform or only Space?
I broadcast on Spaces and Twitch. Live replays of all these broadcasts are on my YouTube.
Twitch, all right, that's.
So they are still at the intermission as we're slowly making our way back. 122 left between the Wild and Golden Knights in the first period, but that is the closest that we've come to being a competitive game so far between the NHL and NBA side.
So what do you think? What do you think the Rockets? What do you expect from them in the third quarter? What can they improve on? Like, they're trying to keep this game close. The start of the third quarter is really important. Really important, because you don't want the Warriors to pull away with it, you know.
You don't.
And takes the crowd out of it.
Yeah, because soon enough, if this becomes ugly, then and everyone's going to start leaving the stands.
For sure.
As we're coming back in just a moment. Warriors leading 47-34. Remember that the Vegas and Minnesota game is tied at 1 apiece. They're heading back here. The Golden State, they need to control their boards because they have 7 offensive rebounds. But for Houston, Amon Thompson and Jalen Green need to find their stride here shooting-wise because they're combined 2 of 10 in their first career playoff starts. Amon was an animal in the in-season tournament game in which he was flying all over the court. If anyone remembers that. As we're getting back underway here to start the third quarter. Warriors in the royal blue going from left to right. Rockets in the red from right to left. And this one went out of bounds off a bump as the fans are starting to make their way back onto the seats as Fred VanVleet called for the first foul of this third quarter. 4 timeouts each. The 34 points was a team season low for the Rockets. The fewest points by a Warriors opponent this season and a half.
That's crazy.
Here's Moody, opens himself up, but it's quickly closed off by Sengun. Moody posts up. Draws another foul. And that's going to be another one against Sengun. There was nothing that he could do there.
That's bad. 2 fouls. Not even a minute.
Yeah, Sengun already at, I believe, 3 fouls already. As Moody, he'll shoot 2 here. This opportunity. First shot. Perfect. We're 17 seconds into the second half. And when you take away the NBA Cup game, the Warriors won 3 of 4. Second shot, good.
49.
In terms of free throws, the Warriors are 7 of 8. The Rockets have yet to make a free throw. All those free throws come from Owen Thompson, where he missed them all. Here's Sengun on the right corner, Van Vliet. That's going to be whistled off because there was a whistle before the play. Probably a practice three-pointer. But he drove that one as Draymond Green might have gone to the hand on Sengun. Jalen Green opens up with Moses Moody on him. Number 4 on number 4. Green drives up the right side. Oh, he lost an edge as Moody pushed him. Takes a hard fall into the goalpost. That's a foul against Moody. And so he gets back up, helped by his teammates.
Yeah, Green needs to do more of that. Drive, get the basket, drive fouls, score some buckets.
Yeah.
Play to the inside. If the free point does not fall, play on the inside.
Absolutely. Yeah.
He's been cold in his last 3 games. 5 points against the Clippers, 7 against the Lakers. 2 of 7, 3 of 10. First shot is good. And if this is a confidence boost that he needs, he'll need all the points that he can get.
Yes.
Just a second career game with no shots made as of now. Second shot, bounced out, but is grabbed by Brooks, and here is the layup. Good from Jalen Green.
There you go.
Was initially a 2-point play, but made it into a 3-point play off the miss. Not intentional. Draymond Green back the other direction. He'll deliver this one back. Van Vliet will look. Whistle, and Brooks is upset.
Oh.
Still, it's a 12-point game, and there may be a chance for a comeback game. It's far from over as Draymond was in an altercation, and as these two were going at each other, the whistle was on Brooks.
That's crazy.
I thought that Draymond was going to get the whistle. Here's Curry, cuts inside, lays it up. Easiest day there for the Charlotte, North Carolina boy. We'll play college ball at Davidson. Jalen driving up, posts up. And that's excellent defense by the Warriors. Not getting a foul that time around. Jimmy Butler, staying at the right wing side, has Owen Thompson on him. Podziemski trying to open up with Butler getting the switch. Owen stays with him. Podziemski, Sengun, 1-on-1, fires a long-range heave, in and out. And this rebound collected by Butler. Deep heave. And missed it entirely. He wanted a whistle. He was saying that he was fouled. And are they trying to see that if there was a bump there? And the official did. I don't believe he saw that one as Owen Thompson tried to get after that ball. Fans are not happy at these refs after Owen Thompson was called for the foul in which he thought he made incidental contact with Butler. Here's Podziemski again. He knocks it down. It's a 17-point game. That silences the crowd now. 2 minutes deep into this third quarter. Van Vliet. Fred Van Vliet will set up Alperen Sengun. Sengun to Jalen Green as Brooks moves up. Watched by Butler. Brooks will kick it out all the way. Van Vliet quickly triggers to Sengun. Owen tries to set up at the left hash. Sengun spins. Hooks one up. Too far. Resets the shot clock. Here's Green from the outside. That's another one too far. Gets his own rebound. Green moves up. Backdoor. Owen.
Nice.
Here's Steph. Draymond quickly moves up onto the right side as Jimmy. 10-second chance points here off the offensive rebounds. Rejected by Owen, but he gets his own rebound back. That was Jimmy Butler at the right hash, standing there. And then backs up. Butler half spin, pulls up, fadeaway shot, goes. And Jimmy Butler answering. 15 for him. And here's Jalen Green. Wanting to answer back. Wild pass for Sengun. Sengun quarterbacking. Sets up. Dylan Brooks backdoor. Amen the rebound. Kicked out. Van Vliet left corner. Bounced out. And Curry the rebound. Spins and turns. Looks to move away from Van Vliet. Curry to the rack. And couldn't get that one. He wants a foul. He will not get his wish. Van Vliet moves up. Sengun at the right hash. Sengun 1-on-1. The hook. Rolled in. Houston trailed by as much as 17 points. Sengun is 18 of those 41 for Houston. Let's see if a comeback happens here as Moody will set up for Podziemski on the screen. Moody steps back and over the right corner. Butler stifled by Brooks. Green joining the rush. Podziemski gets open. Oh, you do not want that if you're Houston. Overcommitment on Jimmy Butler, which bit them as they left Podziemski as the open man.
Another assist for Butler.
Fred Van Vliet will set up and will lob it for Sengun. Alperen Sengun posts up on Draymond a little too far, and Podziemski will grab it. Brandon Podziemski will set up across the half-court line. Van Vliet looks, gets screened, and Podziemski, with Van Vliet staying with him. Podziemski defers over to Jimmy. Brooks gets a double screen, and Amon Thompson gets the matchup, keeps it free, and sinks it. Jimmy Butler in fuego.
Oh my God.
Jimmy Butler's going off tonight. Wow.
You can't underestimate Jimmy Butler, bro. He was in playoff games. He was doing massive shit.
Timeout, Houston, as they'll take a breather to discuss next. Butler and Curry each have 18 points.
Wow.
But so far, it's been the Jimmy Butler show with 18, 5 rebounds, 6 assists. And at the first intermission, the Wild and the Golden Knights are level at 1. As it is, the goals are stood. No penalties in that game so far. As you look at tomorrow's slate, the 7 o'clock game features the Washington Capitals and the Montreal Canadiens. Game 1 of that series, they begin at Capital One Arena. Game 2 at 7:30 between the Winnipeg Jets and St. Louis Blues. Once again at Canada Life Center. The Dallas Stars host the Colorado Avalanche Game 2 at 9:30 Eastern. And to round out, the Los Angeles Kings and Edmonton Oilers Game 1. 4th straight year that those two foes meet in the playoffs. But this time around, the Kings have home ice advantage. And people are asking the Kings, when are you finally going to beat the Oilers?
Damn. Maybe they won't do it even this time. Although the Oilers, I don't think they have as good of a season.
Yeah, a lot of the Oilers this season, they've had some career regression around on the board, and McDavid looked rather human this season. For any other player with a 100-point season, that's a career year for them. For McDavid, it's just another day. It's just another season. For that matter, the Oilers are still a solid team, but do they have enough pieces to counter the Kings, who arguably this year has been the best season for the Kings in their current era? Yeah, Anze Kopitar still as solid as ever at 37 years old. Drew Doughty still a solid blue line force on the offensive side. And you have players that are rounding to form. Quinton Byfield, Alex Laferriere, Brant Clark.
And a lot of people are saying they're going to take the Oilers. I don't buy it. I think it'll be close, but I don't think they win it.
Did they play game one, or that's going to be game one?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow will be game one.
Okay. That's going to be interesting.
The strange part is that game one between the Panthers and Lightning is on Tuesday.
Wow. I wonder why. That's...
And
I guess because they're both in Florida, I guess they're going to play back. They play back-to-back maybe, or what?
I don't believe so. And even so, it's...
by the 11 o'clock game in Vegas.
I mean, the question I have there is, why? Why an 11 o'clock game? You got kids that are going to school on the eastern seaboard, and that's not going to do well for everyone else. Hey, Jimmy's going to check back in. He and Curry have scored or assisted on 19 of 23 Warriors shots.
Wow.
And they're both on the court again.
I guess not much ball handling for Draymond Green today.
But he's tasked more to do with defense. So we're back here. Warriors lead 61-41. So taking off from here. Van Vliet through the middle. He escapes. Van Vliet will look up front for Sengun. Catches a high pass. Sengun up front. Intercepted. That's Draymond Green, the DPOY candidate. Moses Moody is tangled up by Van Vliet. Escapes to the ball. Draymond wants to get it, and he will. He'll set up at the left wing for Jimmy. And across for Moody. Moses Moody tangled up by Sengun. Kick back out for Curry. Curry makes a move on Jalen Green. Then pulls up. Curry. He's one from tight. Oh!
Again.
He's unfair! On the right wing, it is Jabari Smith. He pulls up, lays one up, got it. But man, Steph Curry is unfair. How in the world did he get that free out from tight coverage on Jalen Green? Curry. He shot that one, so he's going to go to the line. What in the absolute wide world?
I listened to the radio broadcast of the Warriors. They go crazy on those shots with Gary.
Oh my! That's just not fair how he does it. The first shot is good. 93% free throw shooter as well. But even though he started with 6 points in the first quarter, he's taken off for 16 points ever since the first quarter. How in the world did... Second shot. Good. That's why he's a gold medalist. 19-6 run in the last 4:30.
I think if you want something close to that, what Curry's doing, I mean, Durant is on his, when he was on his prime, he was as good, but Curry stays good a lot longer than Durant, for sure.
As we have a foul here. You mentioned about Kevin Durant, and for these years in which KD has not been getting up to championship level form with the teams that he's been since between Brooklyn and Phoenix, one can say that Durant needed Curry more than Curry needed him. Pass across, Sengun. 7 to shoot. It's Sengun with the 101 on Draymond. Van Vliet for the right corner. Airmailed it. And Draymond intercepted. Here's Tari. Lays it up. Gary Payton II said he thinks up for the Warriors, who have been on demon mode in this third quarter. Curry, both set up for Payton, and that was knocked away, went off Sengun. And while the Rockets, they are a young offense, some may point to the question marks, who's going to be the closer?
Yeah.
Who's going to be the finisher? In all sense, Curry sets up at the right wing as he moves around. Van Vliet initially doubled him as Jalen gets a single coverage. Curry gets it away on time. Moody has to shoot it off on time. And he just threw that one away. 5:33 to go as the Rockets They want to get their stride back. Steph Curry is just not fair. And I cannot stress this enough. Without sounding like a broken record, another whistle with 5:34. And it is a 66-45 lead. As Brooks gets this for Green. The story of tonight is Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler. These two have been running the show. A box out as Jalen Green sets up Euros. Kicked out right corner. Tari Eason. Bounced up. And it falls onto Brooks. Oh my. Was he ever hand checked when trying to get the layup back? And that's Draymond who helps up Jimmy. Off the collision. Ooh, as he knocked loose of the ball. And Dylan Brooks with the Wikipedia tattoo on his right shoulder. 5 points for Brooks. 3 rebounds as he sinks the first one. Houston has a lot of question marks on offense, even though they are elite defensively, a top 5 team in that department. But with trade rumors circling around, some may say that they could be linked to one of the big name players on the Suns. I don't know if that's going to turn out, but if I were the Rockets, I'd be calling the Suns for Devin Booker as Brooks is 2-2.
Oh, yes. Not Durant. You got to get Devin Booker. Devin Booker, like, if he gets to a team like the Rockets, yeah.
That would be...
I believe in Devin Booker, honestly. But he just hasn't found the right combination, the right team.
Oh, hot potato. Jimmy wanted that one, but it was too quick on the pass from GP2, split 2 defenders. Golden State back to defend. Rockets trailing by 19. They were down by as much as 23. From the far side, Sengun. Alperen Sengun slowing the pace up. Screen set as Sengun wants the action. Gets his body onto Draymond. Can't find a lane. And that was deflected out. He was looking towards Freddie. And Gary Payton the second. Emphatic that time. Van Vliet to inbound. Slipping up was Jalen Green. He gets it. Green. He'll look at the left corner. He is closed off entirely. Sengun with 2. He's one from deep. Oh! How about that Steph Curry magic? This time it's Sengun with it. And a whistle for a timeout. As Gary Payton II almost hit a wedgie and Steve Kerr wants to go over things. After Alperen Sengun hit a Curry shot of his own. Think, hey, I can do that too, Steph.
This Sengun guy is doing... he needs help, man. He needs help so badly over there.
He needs that. And that points to the trade discussions. If the Rockets do get Booker, that will be a dream come true. But you still want to build on those young pieces.
I would give up Van Vliet and get Booker for sure.
Yeah, Van Vliet could be involved in such a trade because at this stage of his career, well, not exactly career, but he is aging and is into his 30s as well.
So what kind of combination would get Booker in? Like, what do you have to give up for that?
If you want any combination of Van Vliet, and if I were to insert another option, this is a tough one because I wouldn't want to trade away Alvin Thompson, but Van Vliet I can make expendable.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because Booker is a point guard as well. It can be... it's far better than Van Vliet and younger.
Yeah, that would seem like a decent trade-off.
Yeah, Van Vliet. I can insert Jayshawn Tate into this.
I would, yes. I don't know. What about Jabari Smith? If we can find another alternative. Maybe you can trade him off.
Jabari Smith is going to garner more attention because he's a young piece and more attractive than Jayshawn Tate.
Yeah.
But if this is gonna be an expensive deal to land, so probably a throw-in if any case, if you were to suffice the salary. And if there's gonna be any throw-in in the case of a Booker trade, a throw-in could be, let's say, for that matter, how about this rookie from the University of Oregon, Nafali Dante?
I mean, I don't know about college basketball, but I mean, you would think that the Suns, they would trade Booker away because Durant's probably gonna go out and find him some last team or something, and naturally Booker is like, yeah, I'm not, and they're gonna like just, take a year and then rebuild. I don't know. They don't have much to the Suns. I think they made a mistake going after Durant, or I don't know, and then Beal. So that player gets injured a lot.
I think Beal was the bigger mistake.
Even
I would say
when he played for Washington, even.
Oh, we have some water fountains here. Lots of water fountains here in Houston. I mean, back here at Toyota Center. But Draymond Green showcasing himself why he's a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. He's in a tight battle with Evan Mobley. And whoever wins that, I think it's going to be one of the tight battles in which, no matter what, fans are not going to be satisfied. But Green did intercept a pass that was towards the inside. Elite defensive awareness.
Yeah, Draymond Green is really good defender, for sure.
Jimmy Butler's been on a tear. Whether Curry be on the floor or he is doing it himself. They're together still. As Curry, he'll look, step back. Oh, automatic! Curry from mid-range. Lead us back up to 18 as Houston wants to follow the momentum. Curry's got 25. Steven Adams out there on the floor again. Dylan Brooks up for Fred VanVleet. Adams posts up, lays it in. There's Adams. 16 points is the gap. That's Curry. He'll look back across half court. Atari Eason watching. Puts him on a spin cycle. Butler. Hill with VanVleet pinching. Hill will back up with 6, with 5. Does he take it himself or does he deliver it off? Here's Moses Moody. GP2 has to loft it. No shot. No shot. 3:23 left in the third quarter, and that's a 24-second violation. The Rockets forced 6 24-second violations in the in-season tournament game. That victory. And it's Ari Eason inbounds for VanVleet. The Rockets have been on a 9-2 run the last 2:42 and counting. No Sengun on the floor, but Adams is there. Adams will look and drop it for Dylan Brooks. Brooks lays one up. Couldn't get it off the glass as Butler tried to take it away. Adams steals it. VanVleet wanted to go inside. VanVleet still holds on to it.
Just shoot, bro.
Finds Adams with 5. Here's Brooks from deep. Short, well short, and a pass of humanity here. Adams gets another offensive rebound with 9 here. VanVleet, sauce, the cross, the finish.
Yeah, come on, bro. Let's go.
Houston's within 14. Second chance points here for Houston coming in strong. They got 14 of those with the 14 offensive rebounds. Butler drops for Lodi. And now here is Buddy Hield. Too far. Steven Adams a rebound.
Come back, Garden. Come on.
Dylan Brooks up for the far side. Brooks. One to both that grit and a whistle here for a personal foul against Golden State. And Curry. He has that beard growing out. He's like, what?
Free throws?
No, it's a personal foul. I don't believe it's going to be free throws, but it was just a slight bump on Dylan Brooks.
Okay.
Brooks was pivoting right onto Curry with his back turned towards him. It was like, what?
Oh, VanVleet, come on. Remember some of the Raptors days, bro. Step up. Just go.
It is free throws for Brooks.
All right.
Brooks, he misses the first one, but he will get another chance. Sengun still on the bench.
Oh, this is bad. This is bad, Ron. Missing free throws.
That's the key difference here. The Rockets and free throws have not been kind.
Nope.
Second shot. Good.
All right.
And all of a sudden, it's a 13-point game. Houston,
So we're tied in the second quarter.
yeah, Houston has scored 12 of the last 14 points. Brandon Podziemski trying to squish that momentum. Jabari Smith out there. Oh, that looked to be an offensive foul. There was a push-off right up front of the court with 2:04 to go in the quarter.
Was it whistle for an offensive foul?
I think there may have been an offensive foul as Jalen Green is on the bench. So is Alvin Thompson. They're relying on the others here. As Sengun is looking to check back in. And Eason too.
Is it possible to keep Sengun and Adams at the same time?
How?
How are you trying that? I don't think it's going to work.
This doesn't add up as Jimmy Butler is shooting free throws. I thought this was an offensive foul against the Warriors. His first shot is too far.
All right. That's good. That's a break.
Mike Dunleavy Jr., the general manager of the Warriors, was the one who constructed this roster. In the departure of Bob Myers, as Quinton Post checks in, Guy Santos checks out. 2:04 left as it's Butler, Podziemski, Hield, Post, and I believe Santos. The second shot, sunk. It is a 69-55 lead. 14-point lead as Butler's got 19. Had 18 in the first half. That free throw was his first point the second half. Van Vliet switches right. Podziemski still on him. Sengun trying to get the screen on him and does. 3-pointer for Van Vliet. Too far. Good rush by Eason, but it's poked away by Payton. 3-on-1. Alley-oop. Rejected by Tari Eason.
Oh my God.
Excellent recovery as Eason goes back and kicks it out. Van Vliet again. Short again. And taken up by the Warriors. No! They direct this one out of bounds. The Rockets will keep it.
Oh, Van Vliet knocked a couple of those shots. That arena would have erupted. Oh my God. Come on.
Oh, if he made those ones, the arena would have exploded. Here's Sengun. He waits for this and pulls up. Sengun moves to the inside. Oh, he draws heavy contact. 1:24 left in the quarter. Houston can make this a 12-point game. Called for the foul is Quinton Post, the Aussie.
How is Sengun a free throw shooter?
Post is actually from the Netherlands. So Sengun is going to shoot two. Post was right up on him. And bumped him when trying to make his way to the rack. As Steven Adams gets the towel out and cleans out part of the hardwood. There was some sweat on the floor, so they wanted to get that cleaned up so that everything can get back up to speed. The Sengun just doing his free throw routine as he is a little ball whisper on a ball roll. And his first shot, got it.
Nice.
But Brooks and Eason are on the bench. The Rockets going to go for offense. One dribble, and now the shot. That rolled out. Podziemski quickly onto it. And he'll go to work. Smith is back. And Podziemski slows it down, immediately fires the free. In and out. Adams the rebound. Take it away from Looney. 70 seconds left in this quarter.
Steven Adams.
Brad Van Vliet. When does he get a 3-point shot? Here's Adams. With one hand, delivers one off to Alvin Thompson. Final minute. Thompson had trouble with it. And there was a bump. Buddy Hield tried to steal it away, but lost it immediately. Amadou inbound. Does he go across the court for Fred Van Vliet? Or does he open space up for Alperen Sengun? He goes to Van Vliet at the near side. Van Vliet from the inside. Amon the rebound twice. Shot clock is reset. In trouble with Smith. And another whistle. Might be another foul.
VanVleet is killing us.
And Smith is going to shoot 2. As he was in the midst of the chaos, VanVleet airballed it. But a good hustle by Jabari Smith to get the rebound and looking to put one up. But couldn't follow that one up. 49.1 to go in this third quarter. The first shot for Smith. Sunk. Here at Toyota Center. As Curry checks back in, he's been on demon time when he's on the court. Even hitting some unfair shots that should not be possible to make under any circumstances. But the only explanation for why he's hit those shots is because he's Steph Curry. And Guy Santos checks back in. Looney out. Both Curry and Butler sharing the floor together. That's the matchup that they want to have as Smith is going to get set for his second free throw.
Come on. From 23
It is up.
That's good.
Good.
Nice. 11.
All of a sudden, out of nowhere, it is an 11-point game. The Rockets had scored 15 of the last 18 in the last 5:20. Podziemski. No field goals for the Warriors in the last 3:30. They're in a shooting slump. Here is Jimmy as he posts up. Rattle too far. Adams the rebound as he falls down. VanVleet will have it. Difference is 7 seconds between shot clock and game clock. Jabari Smith posts up for the left hash and lays it up and is cut to single digits. The Rockets trying to come back with this, saying, you knock us down, we're going to get back up with a smile on our face with 1-2-5, and we're going to bite a kneecap off. Podziemski activates with 6, kicked out right corner, Quinton post, airmailed it too far, VanVleet up front, final shot from deep, off the rim. That would have made a 6-point game, but the Rockets have life entering the fourth quarter.
Okay. Oh my God, that was so desperately wanted to go in. Oh my goodness.
This is when the defense turns up to a maximum for the Rockets, and they have cut this to a 9-point game after trailing by 23 points. Can the comeback be completed here in this fourth quarter? It's next.
Possible. I like the insertion of Adams into the game because now Adams is so dominant on both ways. So he takes offensive rebounds away from the Warriors.
Yeah, offensive rebounds is a crucial part of the Rockets' game. Second chance points are what they emphasize. When you talk about how questionable the Rockets' offense is, here's one of the question marks here. And what do they do off of misses? Offensive rebounds. They're one of the best teams in offensive rebounds, and Steven Adams is proof of that.
Just slightly better shooting, better three-point shooting on some key points in the game the score would have been far different. Would have been a lot closer, if not the lead for Rockets.
Meanwhile, it's still 1-1 between the Minnesota Wild and the Vegas Golden Knights. Philip Gustafson is 11-12, Aiden Hill 8-9. This is Marc-Andre Fleury's final season of his storied NHL career. A 3-time Stanley Cup champion, winning all of them with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Been to 5 Stanley Cup finals, 4 with the Penguins, once with the Vegas Golden Knights. 3.5 of those times, he was a starter. 08, 09, the first half of 2017, and all of 2018. Almost all of 2016 and the second half of 2017, Matt Murray was the starter for the Penguins, though Fleury was solid insurance. Fleury had memorable saves for the Penguins, including the Game 7 cup-quenching save on a rebound from Nicklas Lidstrom.
33-9. That's massive. You stayed alive and you had the fourth quarter.
Yep.
Could change things. Come on, I want to see the Rockets come back and win this one.
Looking for the official. Yeah, we look for the official stats for free. Steph Curry with 25 points. Alperen Sengun with 22 points. But Dylan Brooks is 8. Everyone knows it's been stepping up.
They need some threes to fall, the Rockets. At big moment, like on breaks, you know.
Yep.
Has not been falling.
Yeah, the Rockets have just made 3 3-pointers. 1 each from Brooks, Sengun, and Van Vliet.
At least one of those, that would have been a 6-point game.
And meanwhile, Steph Curry has as many 3-pointers as the entire Rockets team, with 3 of them. The same is said for Brandon Podziemski, who has 3 of his own as well. Houston ended the third quarter on a 17-3 run. Alperen Sengun got interviewed by Ali LaForce entering the fourth quarter, and we're underway. It's 69-60, Warriors leading. Rockets trail by 23. They made it to a single-digit game. Steven Adams a screen, but Green is blitzed. Here's Adams as he moves to the free throw line. Kick back out, Green. Wide open free. Bounced up. Adams got the rebound. Green posts up, driving inside, tipped up in the air, and it's grabbed by the Warriors. Curry, Podziemski across. Curry,
like that.
Green's on him. Curry's double team. Kick back out. Extra pass for Draymond. Curry, wide open left wing. Too far that time. Owen is blitzed on the rebound. Gets it to safety for Sengun.
Inside.
Sengun goes inside on post and lays it up. It's a 7-point game.
There you go.
Second chance points being crucial. That's 18 offensive rebounds to the Warriors free.
So what, Adams and Sengun are on both? Right
Yeah,
now?
that's the Twin Towers lineup for the Rockets. Inside is rejected out of bounds by Jabari Smith Jr. How about that?
Get out of here.
Right on Gary Payton II's face. Aunt says, "Get that weak stuff out of here." Famous quote by Austin Carr, color commentator for the Cleveland Cavaliers, is Curry. Closed by Thompson, he heaves it up anyway. Oh my! He's done it again! Steph Curry, timeless.
10.
Jalen Green across for Sengun. As he waits patiently with this with 10. Sengun to the inside, works on post. Sengun kicked out over to Adams. Adams, he'll get the whistle. He'll head to the line.
I don't know why you kick it out to Adams. He's not going to shoot a 3.
He's not shooting a free. He was at the post-up spot at the hash marks. and Jimmy shaking his head like, "Oh my goodness, this man is different."
He's like, what was that?
Curry has made 11 of his last 12 shots.
That's crazy.
The only miss came in this quarter.
Massive free throws here. They gotta score. Keep it close.
And Butler's back. Adams will shoot 2. Former Thunder man. And the first shot bounced up and it stayed out. It was a 1-and-1 opportunity. Adams got 1 shot. Curry. We'll look at the right side. Bucks with Green. Curry. Shanked that one. And here's Thompson. Just the second miss of this quarter. Alvin Thompson goes back. Steven Adams closed up. And with one hand powers it through.
Yeah. Come on, bro. Steven Adams, he's doing crazy. What the hell, bro?
Launches Torres hammer right through the basket. And now, what did the Warriors do? They got 22 points in the paint. Podziemski from deep. Bounced out. He has 3 points of his own. The Rockets have 46 points in the paint. That's their bread and butter. Play your game. And you want to play your game that is getting to the paint. Adams. Whistle.
Another one.
It is an 8-point game in Adams. In this tight battle. It is 2v7 in matchup. How did Adams find room to slam this with one hand all the way down?
So powerful is Adams.
Yeah.
Really strong.
Adams hands up. Here Smith will post up. Contact. Rolled out. He will shoot 2. Chance to make this a 6-point game here.
Yeah, bro. Like that. See how it is different? Because that's where you're strong. You're strong inside because the 3 is not falling. You got to use Adams. And he's been through these kind of games. So Adams is one guy that's been in these kind of games a lot.
First shot is good. And it's within 7. Draymond's back out there. The Warriors trying to slow down the momentum, and they want their premier defensive guys on the court. Smith practices the second shot. His routine, it is. So now he'll be the recipient of the ball. In just a moment as they're getting Draymond and Adams set up. And I think Draymond's pointing at some sweats. I don't know what is the hullabaloo down there over at the court. But Jabari Smith Jr. on his second shot. Chance to make this a 6-point game. On the way. Good. This building is electric. Wanting to see this comeback come to life here. And it's just the opening game. Here's Curry. Demon time comes when he's on the court. Draymond. Oh, what a pass to Podziemski. But he's closed off quickly. Smith closes out Butler. And what an excellent defensive effort by Jabari Smith. And coming back with this is Jalen Green. Chance to make it a 1-possession game, but the Rockets have only hit 3 3-pointers. Curry has 4 of them on his own. The Rockets could do something from the outside. They were to tie this one and make this a 3-point game as Thompson goes inside. Off the glass. There's the putback from Adams. Within 4.
There you go.
Nice.
Oh my God, we're dominating inside right now. There's no stopping this shit.
Green to Butler. Wide open as Podziemski who gets closed off. And once again closed off by Smith. Back door. There's Payton. Brings it back up to 6. But the Rockets are breathing down their necks. This is not a comfortable spot for the Warriors to be at. And moving up the left side is Jalen. Jalen moves up. A massive humanity at the paint. And Butler grabs the rebound. That was excellent defense by the Warriors at timeout for as good as the Rockets are defensively. Don't forget about the Warriors, how good defensively they are. Butler rolled out. And here's Jalen Green moving back. Green won't stop. Adams looks to the free throw line. Checking up on his Butler. The Rockets almost lose it, but they quickly get it back with Amen Thompson. Flushes. A layup. It bounced up. And Curry gets it. And on the fast break all alone is Payton. Timeout. Ime Udoka with 7:49. 8-point game here. Once we return here at the Space City. Steph Curry on the fast break to the mitten.
A couple of opportunities over there. Oh my God.
Just couldn't get it to go.
Twice.
Yeah, that was twice on the inside in which they were closed off all around. Excellent job by the Warriors to close off the inside lane.
My God.
Yeah, less than 7 to go between the Golden Knights and Wild in the second period. No scoring here in the second frame. All the scoring was in the first. Hurdle from Pietrangelo and Saad. Bodie from Kaprizov and Hartman. Those are the goals. Hurdle for Vegas. Bodie for Minnesota. And Minnesota, they were once a team that was one of the best in the NHL at the first half of the season. But then Kirill Kaprizov went down to injury and the season looked like it was on a tailspin. But an overtime win over the Anaheim Ducks just saved the Wild season and avoided the possibility of the Calgary Flames making the playoffs. And had the Flames made it to the playoffs, that would have been 6 Canadian teams make it to the playoffs, which would have set a record. The only other team to not make the dance was the Vancouver Canucks.
What do you think, really quick, I wanted to ask you about the Timberwolves win against the Lakers the other day. Because I didn't watch the match, if you watched it.
Well, if you want to know my thoughts on that, this Timberwolves team, of course, is super balanced, and this one is not going. This one is not going to be a quick matchup. Don't let seeding fool you. These two teams are separated by a few wins, but when Anthony Edwards plays in the playoffs, watch out. And not to mention about the other guys that are on the lineup. Don't forget about Dante DiVincenzo, their major bench piece that can slide into the starting five at times. He's been crucial in that game. And defense has been a huge part of the Timberwolves' identity under Chris Finch. And that's carried over to this year after they trade Karl Anthony Towns for Julius Randle and DiVincenzo. And that's been paying off for DiVincenzo off the bench. He's been outstanding in this game. For the Lakers, you gotta have everyone to wake up outside of just Luka Doncic. Yes, you have LeBron James. Yes, you have Austin Reeves. You gotta have everyone step up. And also, one thing that puzzled me, why in the world did Dalton Connect get only 5 minutes of action in this game, in garbage time?
Wow. Yeah, the Timberwolves have players. We'll see if Randall can kind of. He's been inconsistent a little bit, but like you mentioned, DiVincenzo, that's a great shooter and great defender. I know that pretty much. He can come up in big moments and hit some massive threes for sure.
It was once a 23-point game. Now it's an 8-point game. The Rockets cut it to as much as 6 points. But now here comes the question. Who is going to be the closer? We know about who is the closer for the Warriors. And they got two of them, and Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler. Who is going to step up in the clutch for the Rockets when the buckets mean most? That means in the final 5 minutes, and it's within 5 points.
Yes.
That means the onus is on Jalen Green if Ime Udoka wants to put him out there, or Alperen Sengun. Thompson's out there, premier young defender of this Rockets team. Thompson heaves it out right corner. They're free on the way. Sunk it! Just the 4th time this has happened this game, and it could have come in a better time. Jabari Smith.
What the hell are you doing, bro?
Oh my goodness. Moses Moody just kept that one inside, and he forced a kickball violation against Steven Adams, saying, "No, you're out of bounds." Oh, and what a pass from Amen Thompson. That was not an easy pass to make because he was closed off by 3 Warriors at the goal mouth.
Wow.
So he had to sidearm it to an open Jabari, who was wide open there. From the right wing is Draymond Green. Draymond looks, kicked out Curry, deep 2, in and out, and Thompson in trouble with Podziemski, trying to force this free, does it at the last moment before the jump ball. Van Vliet throws this one off at the right wing, gets it back. Fred Van Vliet, champion with the Raptors 6 years ago. Adams moves it over to the left wing for Thompson with Curry on him. Thompson puts one up and buries it. 1 possession game here in H-Town.
Look what we're doing over here.
11-4 run here in the last 3:20. Draymond. Moody is closed off. Podziemski fakes it, moves inside, draws the foul. This game is straight out the 80s. Maybe even the 90s, and Amen Thompson is banged up. They're going to challenge this to see if there's anything wrong, as Thompson tried to contest the Podziemski shot, and he got hurt from there, so we'll step aside. So they'll challenge to see the foul is going to be overturned or not, but we'll step away because...
The Rockets are challenging?
Yeah, I believe the Rockets are challenging because Thompson went down and tried to contest the shot.
That might be a charge then.
Yes.
Yes.
Here's the key difference. Offensive rebounds for the Rockets are 19-3 in this game. That's the major difference in what is sparking this comeback.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, after they started giving some minutes to Adams, the things started to change. You noticed that?
Yeah, that's the key factor.
They didn't give him minutes for Adams in the first half.
In the first half, not a lot of minutes for Adams, so the Rockets saw that strategy and deployed the Twin Tower lineup with Adams and Sengun out there on the court at the same time, which has helped wonders. And that's led to the Rockets dominating the points of the paint. The advantage now for them, 50-26.
I like this adjustment because I think that's a good coach because he's just like made an adjustment to the way he was going because it wasn't working for him, and it paid off. The change paid off because now he wants a 23-point deficit, and now it's like a 3-point stuff. That's a massive change.
Now in Boston, Ime Udoka didn't have a Twin Tower lineup out there, but at times he would get Robert Williams III out there at the same time as Al Horford to get a double up. Would it be the starting five or having Williams come off the bench?
Oh, this is the Celtics coach, the one that was involved in the...
Yes.
Okay. I forgot about him.
Yep. Yeah, Ime was on that Celtics team that went to the NBA Finals in 2022.
Right.
And that year was his big breakthrough and emerging into one of the best head coaches in the NBA when Brad Stevens got the promotion to general manager of the Celtics. And that worked wonders for Stevens. And it's beneficial not only for Stevens, but also Ime. And when we're making a NBA/NHL comparisons right after in-season or off-season firings of very good coaches, when I was what John compared Ime Udoka is when the Dallas Stars fired Jim Montgomery, and Montgomery immediately found success with the Boston Bruins. It led to a 65-win season right before that infamous first-round flameout at the hands of Florida Panthers. And while Montgomery was fired in season by the Bruins himself, he then was hired by the St. Louis Blues, turned that Blues team around, and they made the playoffs on a hot run to end the year after the Four Nations face-off. That's slam dunk hires there between Montgomery and Udoka. Oh, that did not look good for Thompson.
Oh.
So the call will stand. As the Rockets, they challenged it. They will be charged with their second to last timeout. So they have just one left. But he is okay. He does not seem to be any sort of pain now, despite the fact that he was banged up right after the hard contact and a hard foul. It was at the expense of Thompson's body. Jimmy's out there.
I guess they called Thompson moving into his path, I guess.
That was the situation.
Yeah.
Podziemski with 11 points. Can make this a 5-point game here with 2 free throws. As Thompson was coming right onto Podziemski's shot. It was a blocking foul. First shot, too far.
Yeah. You gotta rebound. You gotta box out.
Steve Kerr, familiar with Steph Curry. These two were together on Team USA's gold medalist team in the 2024 Paris Olympics. Second shot. And he made that one. It didn't look like he was going to make that, but it sunk in. Bounced up 3 times. The Rockets are 9 of 18 from the free throw line. The Warriors 11 of 14. Adams fighting Thompson, but gets pickpocketed. Draymond Green sets up Podziemski. Podziemski is boxed out all alone at the left side. Now has an option in Green. Draymond Green looks, has Jabari Smith on him. Fed right back to Jimmy Butler. Steven Adams watching. Butler moving to the inside. Podziemski gets a switch. Tari Eason crowding him. Van Vliet forcing Moody to the outside. Perfect! Moses Moody. And Moses supposes that this is going to be tight. 5:47 to go. As Van Vliet slows things up. His feet is lagging. It's delivered to the left for Amen Thompson. This one deflected out. Last touch by Golden State off of Moody.
You gotta score this position. You gotta score. Keep it close.
Inbounded inside for Adams. Steven Adams gonna look over. Right around the center side, Amon Thompson closed out, and he moves over to the free throw line. Perfect! Yes, sir! 5:25 to go. And my feed is really lagging. I'm going to have to restart things up. Steph Curry, I do not want to have things laggy at the worst possible time. But last we saw was Steph Curry with the ball as he was moving up. And, well, the Rockets are not happy about a call. That does not... Houston's trying to look at... Well, you can't challenge anymore because you used that one up on Amon Thompson as Curry. Well, that looked to be last touched by Draymond Green, but you can't challenge it. Curry from deep. Oh! He's done it again! Once again! 31! He's shooting the lights out this building. Final 5. It's clutch time from the free throw line. Bounced up. Amon the rebound. Kicked out. Van Vliet from the outside. Bounced up. Rebound grabbed by Moody. It's a 7-point difference. It's Tari Eason. Tried to check up on Curry. And they knock it loose. Sengun picks it up. Go to the far side, moving up through center. Sengun Euros it. Backdoor. Eason bounced out. And it's out of bounds.
Oh my God. What a...
Last touch by Golden State.
Okay, who stays with the Rockets?
It was Tari Eason who was down the midst of the conundrum. Steph Curry, unfair. How in the world does he keep shooting these ones from the outside and every time it lands through? 31 for him. And he's staying out there because he knows he wants to close this out. Van Vliet sends it inside for Jabari Smith. And here's Sengun, who finds Van Vliet again. Van Vliet backs up. Smith, boxed out by Butler. Feet up front. And pickpocketed. Here's Jimmy with 4:19 to go. Jimmy Butler moves up and posts up from the point. And now here's Draymond. Curry, Butler, boxed out, adjusts, couldn't sink it. The Rockets were over that one. 3 defenders. Van Vliet posts up immediately. Too far. Grabbed by Jabari, but pickpocketed by Podziemski. Podziemski moves it over left side for Curry. Curry walks out of it. Watched by Amon. And we'll move it to a wide open Moody from deep. Bounced up. Put back. Draymond. Yes. 9-point game here with 3:40. In this low scoring affair. Fred Van Vliet in control. That was Draymond's first points of this game. Inside for Sengun. Sengun spins out this one. Can't put it in. There's a whistle though, and Draymond's upset about the foul. And a little shove. It's Moody. Got a rebound from Podziemski up front, and it looked to be a shoving match here. 3:23 to go. And there's a challenge from Steve Kerr. He is challenging this foul, and he is telling Draymond, calm down. We don't want anyone losing their cool.
He's just challenging to appease Draymond Green.
The 3:23 left.
I mean, nothing to lose, yeah.
In regulation.
Man, the Rockets missed a lot of opportunities.
And a power play goal from Pavel Dorofeyev gets the Golden Knights a 2-1 lead. That was inside the 8-minute mark between these two. And I've been having issues with my HBO Max feed. It's been glitching in and out several times, so I have to restart the feed all over again. This is not what I want to have it by. But so far, it's been a tight one. Rockets drove by as many as 23. The Warriors still controlling the pace. And while we do have a definite answer for who are the Warriors closers, we do not have a definite answer for who are the Rockets closers. All right, so stepping back into it as we return here from Houston. On the huddle up as they are challenging this play. Pavlodar fan from Shea Theodore and Tomas Hurdle officially. So it appears that this challenge is going to be unsuccessful for Steve Kerr. So for both the Rockets and Warriors cannot challenge any more plays. Curry's getting back onto the court. Sengun to shoot 2. And Draymond staying out there in the event that the Warriors need to get a clutch stop on defense. First shot bounced in.
Okay, 8.
8-point game as, yes, there was a shoving match and the officials had to break the two of them up. Sengun for the second free throw. It's a 7-point game. All right, it's 84-77, Warriors leading. Last time there was this situation, the Rockets scored 7 unanswered points in the final 3 minutes to close it off. Butler delivers it out for Moody. The scores are on the floor as Butler gets bumped. Moody still holding on to it. 5. Sengun boxing him out. Kicked out for Draymond Green. Has to heave it up. Watch it tight by Amen Thompson, and that's airball. Excellent defense from Amen.
Yes.
Jalen Green's out there, and he needs to be in a clutch situation because despite the lackluster scoring output he's had, you want to have him at his best and in these crucial situations. 2:59 is left in this fourth quarter. Whether we need overtime or not is left to be determined. Green is going to inbound. Podziemski watching Van Vliet. Podziemski still on Van Vliet. And staying with him. Van Vliet watching everything as he's slowing the pace down. These two teams, some of the slowest teams in the league. Sengun will set up space for Thompson. Thompson pulls up. Thompson boxed out, kicked out Van Vliet. Left wing free. Pure! Fred Van Vliet does it again with 2:30 to go.
My God.
Just the second free of the game. Kicked out left corner. Moody answers.
Oh my God.
Someone's getting Moody out here. Moses. 7 points for him as it's Jalen who stumbles, picks it back up. Sengun. This is an exciting finish the fans have stayed here for. Jalen Green from mid-range. Short. Outstretched arm. Podziemski rebounds it. Curry slows it down. Draymond Green gets the feed. 150. Curry escapes Van Vliet. Lays it up inside. Rolled out. Butler the rebound and the finish.
Oh my God. That's a dagger.
Houston's going to have to do something from the outside now. They have been very cold in this game from free. Butler is 21. It's been Curry's show in the second half. 89-80. Van Vliet pulls up. He finds Thompson. Backs out Van Vliet. He'll try again. Gonna do it again. Draymond Green the rebound. And he'll send it for Jimmy. Jimmy Butler. Rockets are not trying to foul here. Sengun blitzing Jimmy. Draymond. Now back for Jimmy. The Rockets are not blitzing him in again. With 6. Sengun trying to hand check. Butler steps into it from the mid-range shot. Okay, Jimmy.
Wow, that's it.
Final minute. Houston needs a miracle now. And here it is to the inside. The layup is good. 9-point difference here. Clock is winding down. And you believe that the Rockets need to foul here. And do so intentionally. Here's a blitz. Podziemski, closed off. Brooks trying to foul Podziemski. Podziemski escaping. He does escape. Podziemski trying to lay this one up and sink it. Rockets moving quickly. And that could be the dagger to the Rockets' comeback hopes. Intercepted. Draymond leads it for Jimmy. The exclamation point.
Yep.
Golden State. Brad VanVleet missing on a free. It's kicked back out for Dylan Brooks. And banks that one. It was a rather lucky shot. 10-point game, but might not make much of a difference as Jimmy Butler's fouled. The Warriors, worried by scare, but they will escape Toyota Center with a victory in Game 1 of this series. Not the end of it. The Warriors have won at least one road playoff game. Still, the streak is going strong as all the stars are checked out. And so the Warriors will run out the rest of this clock. Butler, Curry, both exit. They have themselves outstanding games. And as the clock runs down, the Golden State Warriors take Game 1 here in Houston. The experience pays off. Curry, influential. To go into the final stat lines here. And this was a tight battle and a tight war of attrition. It was interesting, but I don't think this will be the end of it for both sides. And despite the Rockets being the 2 seed, the Warriors are actually favored to win this series.
Yeah.
Veteran experience.
If the Rockets can have a way to improve their offense, they'll be in a good position to go to a 6 or 7 games.
I think it can still go 6 or 7 games, but you leave one player doing all the yeoman's work, that is Alperen Sengun. That's not a recipe for winning. 26 points, 9 rebounds and 3 steals, and not much else from everyone else. That Curry put up 31 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Jimmy Butler, 25 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and a game-high 5 steals. What a moment for Jimmy.
Wow.
That's going to do it from Houston. If anyone has any last words before we wrap this up.
It's been fun. But, hopefully the Rockets, they have to win the game 2. At home, they have to keep it a 1-1, go into Golden State. But if it's going to be 2-0, that's going to be too much for, the mostly inexperienced Rockets lineups to go to Golden State under pressure. Can easily go away from them.
That's true. And even though you could drop Game 1, that's all right. But Game 2, you have to split the home series there because Game 3, that's going to be tough at Chase Center. That's going to be an interesting battle over when it gets to the Bay.
Right. Yeah, and like I said, what makes it harder on the Rockets is the inexperienced players facing that type of game and away from home, so there's extra pressure on them to deliver.
That is also true. We'll see how the series goes. For now,
for sure.
And we say good night from Houston.
Thank you.
Alongside Owen and Ryan, I'm Alec saying so long.
Thank you.